This video went in works in the start of 2020, to be exact February, and this video has been delayed, pushed and refilmed. This is actually the 6th time I'm refilming this just because I wasn't too sure with what to say to you guys or give you guys in context of the iPhone 11 Pro review. There's so much to cover and honestly I didn't want to make a boring video and just talk all about specs. Today it's 18 June 2020 and it's been exactly 272 days since the release of the iPhone 11 Pro. WWDC 2020 is right around the corner and there's so much to expect from it, coming from iOS and also new flagship phones such as an iPhone 12 or whatever Apple likes to call them later on within this year. So now let's look at the iPhone 11 Pro and talk about its highs and lows. Personally speaking, I've been using iPhones since iPhone 5 and I'm very well involved within the Apple ecosystem, and iPhone 11 Pro is definitely a beast of a phone. From the processing power that's coming from the new A13 chip to the triple camera system. Personally, at first, I wasn't really a fan of the 3-lens system coming from all the images and how it appeared to be at the event and on screen until I had one in my hand, and let me just tell you, the camera bump actually feels pretty good in your hand. It's nothing weird or oversized and it does not look bad. In reality, when you look at it, the glass has this curve in a way that it doesn't look like a bump. It's more like it's inside the body of the iPhone. It's like an optical illusion which makes it seem that it's not popping out, and once you see it that way, you actually can't think of it in any other way or any of those memes that came out, so it just becomes really normal to use or look at with the 3-camera ring system. I've seen and felt almost all of the colors and finishes on the iPhones, and let me just say this, midnight green on the iPhone 11 Pro with the matte finish has to be the best combo you can actually get out there right now. I love the color, it looks amazing in almost every single day light, and I seriously want Apple, if you're listening to this, please don't remove the midnight green and the matte finish combo. It's actually a great color. Something about it being different in every single light situation that keeps on making me look at it. And of course the iPhone 8, 10 and even 11 has this glass back, but personally speaking I like the glass back on the camera bump, so which iPhone 11 Pro does have, other than on the actual body. So now let's talk about the screen, the part you will probably be using and interacting with the most. It's a 5.8-inch Super Retina XDR display. It's super bright and it has an amazing contrast ratio. In normal terms, everything is crisp and sharp, and like all the other new iPhones, it is IP68 water splash and dust resistant. Next up, let's talk about the cameras from what I've seen and of course after taking many pictures. Overall, the image quality from the iPhone 11 Pro is fantastic in a well-lit environment. The night mode is nice, the images coming out from it aren't too bad. There's definitely room for improvement considering it's the first time we got to see a night mode on an iPhone. We can definitely see some major improvements from hardware to software in the coming up iPhones, and of course in WWDC we might see something cool with iOS 14 coming up. There are 3 12-megapixel cameras on the back, wide, ultra wide and a telephoto. You can record videos at 1080 and 4K using both front and back facing cameras. Here are some videos I took with iPhone 11 Pro, and just for fun, here's a comparison iPhone 11 Pro versus my Sony a7 III. For someone who loves to film, take pictures and especially doesn't want to carry some big cameras, I can definitely say from my experience the image quality from video to photos coming from the iPhone 11 Pro is definitely up at a considerable level. And for those who want to up their game using manual dials and manually dialing in every single setting, there are many apps for the iPhone that you can use to do all that kind of stuff. So at the end of the day, I won't really see a big difference if you tell me to compare a Sony a7 III to an iPhone 11 Pro footage in a well-lit environment. Not speaking from the camera perspective, the iPhone performs like any iPhone should. It's fast, and from experience I can definitely say it's reliable. And of course it's running iOS, and there are definitely bugs here and there, but if you ignore those bugs, there isn't much you can say bad about the iPhone 11 and the 11 Pro. Both of the iPhone models do support fast charging, and with the iPhone 11 Pro you even get a fast charger in the box. The battery life for me has been amazing. Because of the amount of power this phone has, I've been doing lots of photo editing using Lightroom and few more apps that I would actually prefer to do on my iPad or Mac. With some good amount of heavy usage, the iPhone 11 Pro would last me pretty much the entire day, but it would obviously depend on how much you use and how you use your phone. According to Apple, you should get 5 more hours in the iPhone 11 Pro and 4 more hours in the iPhone 11 compared to the previous gen phones, which already had an amazing battery life. There's definitely a few things I would like to see change, such as a smaller bezel, because at this point, if you just put the iPhone next to all the other leading phones, the front of the screen or the front of all the devices, iPhone 11 or 11 Pro just looks outdated with the big sensor in the top and the thick bezels. Something which is probably gone completely from the iPhone is haptic touch, or you might also know it as 3D touch, and it was hands down my favorite feature of the iPhones, and probably one of the biggest reasons why I didn't want to switch my main phone to iPhone 11 or even earlier versions when they started taking 3D touch out. Apple has implemented it using software which detects how long you put your finger on an icon and to replicate 3D touch, but honestly, it's definitely this space or room left to improve, because you can definitely feel it's a software and not a hardware thing. Another thing we saw in the release keynote of the iPhone 11 Pro, but personally speaking, I never really experienced this, was something called U1 chip spatial awareness in the iPhones. It basically allows iPhone 11 Pro to understand its precise location compared to other devices, and it's basically like giving another sense to the iPhone. And whenever I tried it, it just never seemed to work. One of the good places to test U1 chip or the spatial awareness in the iPhone is by airdropping to someone which also has a U1 enabled device. And maybe it's because of iOS, there's bugs that's not letting it work, but I honestly just felt that this feature just died as we moved along or after the event. So hopefully something this year with the new iPhones or with the iOS 14 we might be able to see, because it's a really cool feature, being able to giving another sense to the iPhone, letting it know what's around it with exact location. So let's see or hope we can get something great with it. So at the end of the day, it's just another iPhone, but still a lot better than the previous one. If you're someone who's having a hard time deciding between the iPhone 11 and the 11 Pro, I would simply put it as, if you need better cameras, 3 camera system, an OLED display, and you prefer the matte finish on the back of the phone, then I would say highly go with the iPhone 11 Pro. But if you don't want any of that and you just want the same performance in the iPhone 11 Pro, you can just go over with iPhone 11, because you basically get exact every same thing between both of the phones, other than a 3 camera display, which you actually also get ultra wide anyway in iPhone 11, and you get fast charging in there, just a LCD, which is still not bad. So I hope you like this review / everything you should know about the iPhone 11 and the 11 Pro before the next iPhone comes out in September, or maybe, as it's rumored, a delayed a month, so in October. Like always, hope you all have an amazing day, and I will see you guys later.